Hey there, what's up? So I haven't actually posted on here in ages. I posted like my introductory video and stuff, and then I just kind of stopped. So I apologize for that. However, today I'm going to be talking about one of my favourite books by one of my favourite authors. It's kind of a funny story by Ned Vizzini. Now, this book's really bashed up because I've had it for a long time and I've read it so much. As in, like, it's like I'm sat in front of my window and it's a bright yellow book, so you're not going to be able to see it that much, but it's very, like, damaged. I'm also pretty sure it had, like, water spilled on it at one point, because I took it to school a bunch and, like, read it because I didn't have that many friends. Okay, so yeah, it's not that great quality anymore, but it's still a great book. So, to summarize what this book is, it's about this teenager called Craig who suffers with anxiety and depression, and he experiences a suicidal episode, and so he gets checked into a mental health ward. However, it's an adult mental health ward, because I read it recently and I should know this. I'm pretty sure it's the reason he's checked into an adult mental health ward instead of a child's mental health ward, or young person's mental health ward, is because it was the children's or the young person's, it was getting redone. So he gets checked into a adult's mental health ward, and there he meets some friends, in quotation marks, including a trans woman who is a sex addict, a girl who is his age and has scarred her face with scissors, and the self-elected president called Armelio, I don't know. But so it starts off with him kind of discussing his mental health, and like how he kind of ended up to the point where he felt suicidal, and that's really where the book begins. Like after the first chapter, talking about like when he gets checked into the mental health ward. So the book overall is primarily about Craig getting help. It's throughout his entire journey in the mental health ward or the mental hospital, whatever you want to refer to it as. And he kind of it's about his experience there. And the main thing, which is you can see on the cover, is he likes to draw maps, and he's liked to draw maps since he was a kid. And that's what really gets him through the entire hospital stay, the inpatient stay, that's the phrase I was looking for. But throughout the entire time he's an inpatient, he draws maps. So overall, this book, it's, I believe, like, I want to say like 40 chapters, hang on, 50 chapters long, and it's 10 parts. So it takes place over the course of a week. And so he is an inpatient for a week. The first part is titled Where I'm At, and that is just sort of that's the part in which he gets checked into the mental health ward, or just before he does. it's really interesting to kind of, because Ned Vizzini, before he died, um, because he unfortunately passed away, um, he, how do I phrase this? So it was written shortly after Ned got out of his own inpatient stay at a mental ward or a mental hospital. And so it's very real in the sense of like if somebody were just writing about somebody's experience but hadn't experienced it, it would be very much so kind of assumptions. Whereas, I mean, part of this book is assumptions and obviously made up because it's a fiction book. It's not about his stay. It's about what he would like, his imagination and how he thinks somebody else would experience a stay in a different mental health ward. But if it were somebody else to write it who hadn't experienced the stay there, if it were somebody else who hadn't experienced an inpatient stay in a mental health ward, it wouldn't really be so real. It would feel more so like assumptions do. Like, you know, kind of like, oh, well, I feel like it'd probably feel like this, so, you know, this is what I'm gonna write. Whereas Ned Vizzini, he knows what it felt like. Or he knew what it felt like, and so he could really write it down into this book. And that's why I believe that's why it is so long and it is such a good book, because it goes over his own experience pretty much. It's kind of a funny story, actually, more so reassures the reader. I know that a lot of people who have read it have heard about it and have gone through similar struggles, like feeling suicidal, feeling like you know, like having to go through mental health issues. And this book, it just kind of reassures them that they're not alone and that there is people out there who are like them. And while not everybody's struggle with mental health is the same, it just kind of reassures them and it gives them kind of a lifeline, I guess, to kind of understand, you know, it does get better, your pain's real, I understand what you're going through, and you can get through this kind of thing, or we can get through this together. I'm looking through the book while I'm reading this, because, you know, while I'm saying this, because it's like one of my favorite books. I would definitely recommend this book to anybody. As I said, it's very much so kind of a book that, I mean, it's over 10 years old. Jeez. Yeah, because it was released in 2006 originally. I can't remember when I got this copy. I think I must have been like 9 or 10. So it was 6 or 7 years ago when I first got this, and the amount of times I read it since. But I believe, like, one of my favourite quotes from the book, and I've gotten it like kind of bookmarked at the bottom, like with a little, what's it called, like sticky note thing, and it says, that's all I can do. I'll keep at it and hope it gets better. And that really kind of, there's somebody that just walked past and they were looking at me. That really just kind of reassures you. I guess, I don't know, it kind of makes me realize that I can get through this, because I suffer with mental health issues, And this book is always just kind of been one of the things that if I'm not really having that great a day, I'll go back and read it. And it's one of the only books that when I was going through my kind of depressive episode that lasted like a year, it was the only book I would keep going back to. Honestly, this book is amazing. It does take a bit to get into. As in the first, like, I think 15 chapters just take place right before he gets, like the hours before he gets, I don't think it counts as being sectioned, but before he gets put into the mental health ward. And really, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's a learning experience for all parties involved, including the reader. I would definitely recommend this book. And if you see it in stores, I would definitely recommend picking it up. I mean, according to this, it's $9.99 US. I don't know how much that is in pounds. Says it's $10.99 in Canadian dollars. Like I said, this was a few years ago, so it might be cheaper. I don't know. Pretty sure I also got this off of Amazon. I'm not too sure though. But yeah, overall, definitely give this book a chance. Like I said, it's one of my favourite books. I don't know why I didn't think of it as one of the first books to review on my channel, or on this channel. But yeah, there's not really else I can say about. There's nothing really I can say about it apart from definitely give it a shot. Ned Vizzini is an amazing writer. He wrote another one of my favorite books, and I'll probably be reviewing that later on once I reread it, because I haven't read it in a hot minute. And then hopefully I'll end up getting, I can't remember his other books because I don't have them, but I want them because he's one of my favorite writers. But yeah, definitely give it a shot. I would definitely recommend it. It's an amazing book. It has some of probably my favorite scenes in it. It also has a movie based off of it, and it's very real. So even if you don't like reading books, but you like seeing movies, give the movie a shot. Obviously, they don't include everything that he does in the book, but definitely at least give it a shot. Ned Vizzini is an amazing author, was an amazing author, and honestly, I feel like he's underrated. That's really all I can say about the book. Thank you for watching this video and listening to me ramble about Ned Vizzini and watching me watch people as they walk past or jog past in what seems like tinfoil. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye.